Hey, I'm James Stress, and that was retarded. So, I was thinking to myself, how am I going to start a video blog? Because there are 800,000 video blogs out there, and I'm just me, and I don't know how to be anything else. So, I kind of was brainstorming earlier today. Yo, what up, welcome to my blog. Brooklyn blog, welcome to my blog from Brooklyn. I'm really not feeling it. I don't like that idea. Exactly what I was saying to her. Are we on?
Hey, kids! Patricia! Honey, can you be quiet? I'm just trying to do something.
Cheers, darlings. This is more like it. So, this blog, my first, is about inspiration and what inspires you and what inspires me. So I'll start from the beginning of where I think I should start, even though that makes no fucking sense. I had been in a rut. I lived in New York for 4 years, and life gave me awesome things and shitty things, and it was life. I had decided not to live here anymore, and I was going to move to Vegas to be with my friend Michelle, and we were going to work with her dance company and make a bunch of awesome videos. And I started my journey towards that path in my life, and I started choreographing a really cool piece for her, and to be in with her, all while planning to do some of their work with them too. Some really cool video projects that I'll be sharing with you in the coming months when I'm allowed to. So it was really neat. I was planning to leave New York. I was finished here for the time being. I kind of, through working a few jobs and through auditioning and Whitney Houston lip, I can see it. It's really good. Whitney! I discovered that New York wasn't right for me at that point in my life a year ago. That's funny to say now because I love New York and I'm completely content here now, so that's cool. But it didn't feel like the right fit because I didn't feel right in my body. I didn't feel right for the roles that I was auditioning for, feel a character type, and more importantly, I didn't know how to and didn't understand my brand. Fast forward, a young gentleman, caller, we're so young, came and found me in late September and started to talk to me and court me and try to be with me. And it was right at the time that all of this went down with Vegas, and so I kind of tried to keep it on the down low, on the hush hush, and just sort of talk to this person and more or less get to know them without any strings attached. So I kept it to an electronic kind of relationship, text-based, and I never let this person come over. I never let them come meet me. And they talked to me for 3 months before I let them. Long story short, after that many months of courting and 3 weeks before I left for Las Vegas, because I still kept my contract idea and my promise to Michelle and to Anastasia and to my dance company in Vegas, I agreed to let this person come over. And they did. It was kind of a trick, actually. He told me that he was going to stop bothering me. Long story short, I was telling him that I was leaving without telling him I was leaving, and he wasn't having it. So when he told me it wouldn't bother me anymore, some sort of panic struck in me, and I was like, no, you can't do that. Come back, come over, come hang out. And he did, and he turned out to be the love of my life. So I met Michael in person, and then December 18th was the day that I left for Las Vegas. And that's where inspiration comes into play. We fell hard and fast, but kept cool, both of us, and agreed that it was okay that I was going to Vegas. Instead of moving there, I talked to Michelle and went from a year-long moving process contract to a 6 months contract that ended up being negotiated into a 3-month contract and stay in Vegas, where I worked on the dance projects I was working on. But Michael inspired me from the moment I met him. It was the coolest thing, and I was the biggest skeptic and the most jaded person that I knew in New York as far as love was concerned, because I got here and not to be drama or gaze about lives on my blog, but it didn't work out. Like, there were 4 years of dating people for 3 weeks to 3 months, and then it just never worked out. I was always the cute fix, or the person that people didn't want to get too close to, because I had this weird knack for finding people right when they were finished with relationships, and it sucked. But I met Michael at the perfect time, at imperfect timing, and it all worked out, and I started to get more and more inspired. So the person that he was found the best in me before I could even have a chance to show him. And that person came out, and I started choreographing, and I made this amazing dance piece, and I went to Vegas for 3 months and maintained an amazing, inspiring relationship with him, all on our phones. I had a cracked up, dropped it, and it looked like a don't sneeze kind of screen experience right before I left for that trip. And so my phone had no battery. It was a terrible, terrible, awful, like 2-year-old iPhone 4. And so through the course of my journey in Vegas and through all of my rehearsing and stuff, I got a new phone, and we talked to each other on the phone every night, and we FaceTimed every night, and my dance piece got better and better, and more ideas started to happen, and more fruitful things came out of the video shoots with the girls in the dance corps that I was working with. And then I got back to New York in 3 months, and it was as if I never left. It was like I stepped out of the city into another dimension for a few months and came back to the same city, but as a different person, experiencing it from a completely different perspective. And that was the most inspiring part about coming back to New York, to be near Michael and to explore all the creativity that I found in Vegas for those 3 months. Because when I got there, it exploded. There was so much creativity. It was amazing to wake up every day and have a new idea, and to work out and work. I was working even in an artistic environment. I was working for a flower shop. Enchanted Florists, if you're ever in Las Vegas, use Enchanted Florists. Speaking of inspiring, they make the best, beautiful, most amazing flowers in the universe. It blows my mind that these girls can do what they do with flowers, and guys. Anyways, I was just surrounded by art all the time. All of my friends were musicians that I was hanging out with in Vegas, and dancers and theater performers. So I'd wake up with an idea and it would get done. I would wake up wanting to do something or work on something at rehearsal, and it would get done. And it was just everything that had been missing in my life for 6 years. By my own volition, my own fault, and for the fact that I wasn't inspired to go to the right auditions. I wasn't looking for roles that were right for me. I was looking for male ingenue roles, and I'm growing into that maybe at some point in my life, and may be right for like 1 or 2 of the gamut of 1,000 of them right now. But I'm funny, I'm goofy, I'm a face maker, and a griper, and a line bomb dropper. Like, I'm not your, hello darling, would you like to join me on the staircase at midnight for a stroll in the park, and I'll sing you a lovely baritone song? It's not me. And it took going there to figure that out and to rediscover my movement and the way I am in my body without prejudice and without worrying about what everybody else thought, which had been my entire college experience, was worrying about what everybody else thought so I could get good grades or I could make it into this project, instead of focusing on what things worked for me and what inspired me. So long story short, this blog is about inspiration, and I found it again. And it's full force. Since I've been back to New York, I've done some amazing work with a dance project, with a dance play. I worked with Aquila Theater and did Philoctetes both here in several places and in Greece. I just went to Europe for my first time and saw amazing things in Greece. Performed for Greek people, had Greek subtitles for an English translation of a Greek play in Greece, so they needed subtitles, which was amazing and funny and awesome to behold all in itself. We performed for a bunch of refugees, which was incredible, and worked with them afterwards. And my next blog will include a bunch of clips from working with these refugees that they came to Greece with nothing and found performance in theater that was otherwise banned and not allowed in the countries that they came from. So there was inspiration found in all of that and in creating these amazing improv scenes with people that didn't speak English. And for us, we didn't speak Greek. We learned like 10 words and knew like 20 phrases of Greek by the time I got there and by the time I left. So everything was physical and interacted and inspiration and muse-based. So the long and short of it for my wine and a bath time, first time blog is find your muse. And you gotta do it yourself. There are so many mornings that I woke up in Vegas and since Vegas where you wanna do something creative and you wanna find something powerful to do, but then you just don't. You think about things all day and you let your mind ramble and wander, and you go to other places, and before you know it, the sun is set. But just find one thing that inspires you instead of 37 or 15 things, or just find one thing like this blog that I did today that inspires you and focus on it one day at a time. It doesn't have to be the same thing every day either. Just focus on one thing that inspires you every day. And amazing things are going to happen. Amazing things. So this has been my first blog. Tune back in next week for another one, another topic, or 3 topics, or 18 topics, depending on how much I want to talk about or ramble about. And those of you that are my friends, I hope you join my blog and come back and see it and watch it improve and grow. First times are the hardest times, so enjoy what I gave you and enjoy the teas in the bath.